Welcome back. We're talking to Mr. Pratap Padode. Now, Pratap, before the break, you were telling us about the lineup of people that we have for the upcoming event this weekend. So tell me, the speakers that we have are going to be talking about different sectors of India: real estate, railway, finance, you name them. You've got all of them covered under one roof. First of all, where did you come up with this lineup? Second of all, these people are not all Indians or even Indian descendants. So, how will these speakers benefit the Indian economy? Tell me about that.
Well, to answer your first question as to how we got these kind of speakers engaged in this conference, see, that's where our conferences back home in India, when we've been sort of holding them, finding speakers for them, or interviewing people within the infrastructure space has helped.
Okay.
Number one. Number two, when we participate in exhibitions and conferences overseas, we've actually had the benefit of meeting these people somewhere across, having discussions with them, so we know who's good at what.
Okay.
And so it was not so difficult for us to do this. Of course, our conference is also supported by US-India Business Council.
Okay.
That also helps.
Okay.
And so I think given that whole background, it was not so difficult for us to come up with the speakers.
Okay.
How they will benefit the delegates who are attending, yeah. Well, people like, we have got Gautam Bhandari from Morgan Stanley.
Okay.
Now, Morgan Stanley runs funds all over the world, and they've got infrastructure dedicated funds as well.
Okay.
And money has to find the best returns. That's their mission.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So they got to check which economy is doing how slow, how fast, how much growth, and they move money around.
Exactly.
So they have to constantly evaluate which country is going wrong or which country is doing things right. So their perspective is very good for other investors to understand that, look, if India's time is happening now, it is for these reasons. And therefore, India can benefit greatly if people get convinced from the convictions of these speakers.
Okay.
So, of course, our prime objective is to deliver the information, but also we wish that we can translate this into investments coming into Indian infrastructure.
Of course. Now, the numbers that you have given for the investments into the economy, the Indian economy, are really astounding. Okay, you have, the budget that's proposed out there over the next 4 decades is pretty substantial. Considering this budget is going to be proposed with the current government that we have, the current cabinet that we have. Once this cabinet moves out in 2014, the next cabinet comes in, whoever the next prime minister is, whoever the next, the people who have the power to control it, so to speak, or veto it, so to speak. What is the future plan to implement this, that no matter which government comes and goes, this is still going to be there, the budget will still stay as is?
Some time ago, which was probably 10 years ago, this was actually a question which way the budgets would move.
Okay.
It used to be a great suspense, and it used to make an impact on the stock markets too.
Okay.
But last 4 or 5 years, there is no such great impact that the budgets cause, because it's a no-brainer. Any government that comes into power in India has to invest in infrastructure to keep the growth rate of the economy going.
Okay.
And we have so much population to feed. We have so much, income to generate, GDP to generate. The only way to do that is through infrastructure. I mean, this used to be also a question mark 5 years ago. Now, no more. Whichever party comes into power, they have to follow this path. And so, between 2012 and 17, you might have some allocations moving here and there a bit. But overall, the plan, which is made by the Planning Commission, will remain the same, no matter which government comes.
Okay.
So I think that is no more a concern for anybody, for any investor today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because investors, that's one of the reasons I ask you that, is because you're looking at other countries to come and invest into India, into its growth sector. As an American company or Middle Eastern company, if they're putting their funds into that country, what's the guarantee that next 7 years, 10 years, 5 years, someone else comes into the picture, our investments are gone. So, it's very important that that we talk about that we need to make sure that there is the plan will still be implemented and still going to be carried forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Now, the question of the day, who comes up with these dollar figures? The dollar figures that I've seen are in trillions. Okay. We're going from, I think you said, 1 trillion, 1.3 trillion to
1 trillion now.
1 trillion
Yeah.
to 85, is it?
Well, 1 trillion is the plan for the 12th five-year plan
Okay.
to be invested in infrastructure, of which 500 billion comes from the private sector.
Okay.
And each 5 years, this amount has been doubling. So like last 5-year plan, which ended in 2012, the government had to spend 500 billion.
Okay.
And prior to that, it was 250 billion. So we've been actually doubling each 5 years the investment that is going into infrastructure. So yes, after 2017, it may be 3 trillion.
3 trillion. So this is where the accountant's hat comes on. And that's where the numbers start playing a game with it. So now, I know it's almost time for us to go soon. So tell us a little about this event this weekend, where it's going to be held. And, I'm sure you're so excited about it because I know there's a lot of planning and hard work with your team that has gone into it. So tell us a little about this event.
Yes, we've been working on this event right from early this year. We've already done probably 3 visits to the U.S. Working on this. But we've got Senator Larry Pressler, who's making a keynote address. In fact, he's also awarding few admired companies from India.
Okay.
So we normally have that award in one of our award functions in India. This time we invited those winners here to actually receive the awards.
Okay.
So companies like L&T, SR, they're going to receive awards here.
Okay.
And of course, we have an extensive, fabulous lineup of speakers. We've got Luis Miranda from IDFC. We've got Morgan Stanley. We've got CH2M Hill.
Yes.
We've got Island FS Infrastructure Leasing, Mr. Harish Mathur. So I think the whole range of speakers that we have is going to give. Plus, we've got a panel discussion in each session.
Okay.
So we plan to make it more interactive. It's not about that we're giving something new, as in India's infrastructure opportunity is not known.
Exactly.
The essence of this conference is that people who come there are able to go beyond that. Okay, what is holding India back? If the opportunity is so great, why isn't money pouring in? What are the obstacles? Let's talk about them. Let's actually discuss it out and know this is where money will start coming in.
So you have the debates on pros and cons of this.
Yes, and we're going to prepare a report at the end of the conference, and actually submit it to the Planning Commission. That if we want a good flow to come in, these are the obstacles we need to really take care of.
Okay.
So we have a motive in mind at the end of the conference.
Absolutely, and that's the way it should be, because if there's no end product to anything that you do, it's really not worth it to do it then. Now, how can we know about your upcoming and future events like these?
Well, we have a website, aspireinternationalgroup.com.
Okay.
And we'll be putting up all our events that are going to come up.
Okay.
We've also integrated this website with our website back home, asapmedia.com. So all conferences and publications are integrated on this website. So I recommend that Aspire International Group, keep your eyes peeled and watch that space.
And ASAP Media is with 2 P's, ASAPP.
Yes.
We want to make sure we let people know because of the mistake that I made today.
Yes.
So asappmedia.com.
Yeah.
Now, also, before we go, what is your message to our viewers here?
Well, I think I would say don't lose faith. We have situations with India happening. We keep hearing about a lot of things. There's a big churn going on, I think, in the world right now. As you see, even in the Middle East, people are rebelling against the government. We had Anna Hazare movement in India recently. So I think there is a whole lot of churn and realization happening across. And I think it's propelling India into a new orbit. I think with the governance issues at the stage we are in India, we are talking about getting absolutely cleansed of corruption at this stage. We are quite mature to even do that.
We have.
And we are sort of, people are, the way this whole bill was passed with so many people actually protesting in the big grounds out there in Delhi, and the Lok Sabha had to be convened, and a special session was going on, and we passed it, and there was no violence at all. Peacefully to pass a bill with so many millions and millions of people, I think that's very mature.
That in itself is an accomplishment.
Absolutely, I think hats off.
Exactly.
And so I think it's a great sign of the times to come.
Great.
So my sign is my sign of messages. Don't lose faith. I think big and happy times are to come.
Excellent. That's really good to hear. And we definitely wish you all the best with the seminar this weekend, with the conference this weekend. And we're looking forward to many more in the future. And what your company is doing, and in conjunction with all the other media partners that you have, we wish you all the best from all of us here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
having me on the show.
It's a pleasure. Well, with that, I want to tell you all, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Building Bridges with us with Pratap Vijay Padode from Aspire International Group. As you can see, India is a big, growing economy. Every day we have new emerging leaders and companies out there that are building bridges and helping to take the sector forward into a new line, into a new ray of hope out there. There's a lot happening in the world out there and a lot that's changing. We hope that you become a part of it and keep watching us for upcoming episodes when we keep bringing you personalities like him who can come and educate you and tell you about what's going on in our great country. With that, I thank you all for watching our show. I'll see you next time.